Hey YouTube, this is Nash Taters. And that was a car that just drove by my house. My house is very close to the street, so I apologize. But welcome back to another episode of War of the Visions. So today, we're going to continue on with Friday Free Thinking, Episode 2. Let's get into it. Alright, happy Friday to everyone. It's TGIF, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, and hope some exciting things happen for you this weekend. Let's begin today's topic. Let's begin today's episode, with an observation that I noticed. Actually, to be fair, I gotta give credit's due. One of my guildies actually noticed it and showed it to me in Discord. And that is this bad boy right here. I know a lot of folks don't spend money, and I myself try to create content on this channel from a free-to-play perspective, right? But I do have an account that I do actually spend money, and so I do look at every single pack that the game presents itself to me. So this pack, let's just talk about this pack real quick. First of all, is 5,000 paid gems, which I believe is $80, $79.99. And you get 9 Rainbow Fragments of Thought, 19 Rainbow Vision Spheres, and all enough to, look at that, fully awaken your unit. A lot of games do this. A lot of gacha games offer the package deal, say, boom, level 1 to 99, done. Click this button and you're done. So that's what this topic of conversation is today. Now, recently, I got into a conversation with someone over the internet about, free-to-play perspective and pay-to-win perspective. And this person, not sure if it's a woman or man, so I'm gonna go ahead and just use the term him, okay, just to make things easier. So he stated that he spends money because his rationale is this. He feels like in these type of gacha games, where they claim to be free-to-play, the majority of the player base are perhaps free-to-play players, and that many of the free-to-play players are perhaps casual players, or they're ignorant players because they don't really educate themselves in terms of mechanics and things like that. And he didn't want to play with those type of players. And so his rationale was he wants to spend money so he can kind of enjoy the game with other fellow gamers who spend money. Now when I read that, I was thinking, that's a bit off-putting, but at the same time, I can sort of understand where he's coming from. Most people perhaps who spend money are going to be considered what I would call maybe a try-hard or a min-maxer, right? And of course, there's different degrees of spending, of course, right? There's heavy spenders, light spenders, whatnot. But overall, I think people spend for different reasons. And that person's rationale was he wanted to play with other spenders, who he assumes, of course, in this case, that these other spenders are educated in the game and are tryhards in the game and really want to succeed in terms of everything. I don't want to say if I agree or disagree, but at the end of the day, it is his opinion, and it makes sense in a certain perspective, right? Now, from a free-to-play perspective, which a lot of players do actually say they are, and most people feel like, hey, maybe they are casual. But at the same time, you can't assume that. There are a lot of free-to-play players who are actually tryhards, and they do really well in different aspects of the game. And I think when you're referring to War of the Visions, quite free-to-play friendly. While you might not notice that now in terms of the first, say, 100 plus days. In fact, you might not even notice it until maybe you get to, say, 200 days. Okay? What's going to end up happening is you're going to have enough units built, enough equipment crafted, enough vision cards leveled up, several espers perhaps fully maxed. You're going to realize you can compete with anyone in Arena. The top ranking guys have so many points that it's abundantly clear that that's what they enjoy doing. They spend a lot of resources to get there, so the rest of the community cannot catch up to them. And to them, the 2,000 gems isn't really what they're going for. I think it's more about prestige and bragging rights and etc. etc. Whereas the free-to-play players wanted just to get to a certain spot in the arena so they can get some free items. And I think that's a big mentality between pay to win and free play, is that not a lot of people care about the items in the game, because as a pay to win, you could just simply buy all of those things. And eventually you get to a point where you have so many of those items, it's becoming diminishing returns. And after a while, they perhaps will only buy the chance at new units, right? They will increase their chance at newer units by spending on gems or just quickly leveling them up, such as that pack that you just saw, 5,000 pay gem, boom, no problem, $80, no problem. You know, I got my unit built fully and now I can enjoy this unit. Whereas a lot of free-to-play players now need to think about saving gems over time and worry about which unit to pick. So those are important things to think about. If you decide that you want to pay, you have to really ask yourself, what are you paying for, right? Now, one philosophy I always emphasize, especially in the beginning part of my videos that I've been making on this channel, was I always tell people, time is the most valuable resource. As a human being, time is, actually, let me take that back. A living being in this world, time is your most valuable resource. Whether you're an insect, you're a dog, or a human being, whatever, time is your most valuable resource. Because one thing's for sure in life, well, actually two things for sure in life, death and taxes, right? One thing about this game is it has this status element called Doom, right? If that was casted on your unit, it has a countdown meter with a little skull symbol, and it counts down, I think, from 4, 3, 2, 1, then boom, you just keel over. Well, guess what? You have that timer on your head in real life too. It's guaranteed. We're all have to eventually pass. And so with that being said, you have to really question yourself, why are you playing games? A lot of people play games to escape. You know, I say that to myself. Like, I play this video game, and I play video games in general. I collect toys, I collect action figures, I collect all kinds of things because I want to escape the harsh reality of the world. You know, I work in the medical field. It's rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. Every day I have fear in the back of my mind. You know, am I gonna contract some nasty disease? You know, I'm bringing home to my fiance and maybe my family, my friends and loved ones. I don't want to, you know, feel that way, but it is in the back of my mind. You know, when you're a frontline worker, you're exposed. You're potentially could be exposed to those things, and it is scary. Let's talk about culture. Many people know, or maybe perhaps you don't, but I'm gonna say it to you anyways, that most games actually came out of Japan. Growing up in the 80s, many of the video games I played came out of Japan. And then you started seeing lots of big companies that arise in different parts of the world, right? And nowadays, some of the big companies are gonna be Japan, United States, Korea, even Chinese companies. There's a lot of them now. The Japanese actually leads in spending for gacha games and mobile games, like number one. The gap between number one and number two is really big. And the other countries, top 10 are usually consisting of Asian countries. And myself playing many different games throughout my journey as an adult. A lot of them I play were MMOs. Like I play this game called Ragnarok Online. I play World of Warcraft. And I played different MMOs. And I've been playing gacha games for well over 10 years now. And one thing I've learned is that a lot of the top ranking players across different games and different platforms of games, whatever, a lot of them are Asian players. And I think the Asian culture themselves, the Asian folks who play games have this mentality that it's very rewarding when you accomplish something in the game. And I think that's what's explaining why so many Asian games are so grindy, right? For example, Ragnarok Online was such a grindy game that it spawned tons of cheaters. You know, World of Warcraft, when it first came out, it seemed so easy to level for me, like when I was comparing that experience to other games I played. And then when I evolved to play mobile games, I realized a lot of the Asian company created products are very grindy. Like, for example, Summoner's War was so grindy that pretty much every day you wake up, you do your daily events and you do your daily quests, and then you spend the rest of the day just farming. That's all you did was farm specific things. That's it. In order to get to a certain spots in the game, you have to farm. That's it. And I think we see that in this game, War of Division. We see that, right? Like, one of the worst systems most people feel like is the crafting system. It's so bad. The equipment system in this game is ideally really terrible. I even haven't played any hardcore MMO games that have this crappy of a system. And I think that perhaps is the mentality approaching that. It's like they want you to feel really rewarded once you get there. You get that +5. You spend hours of grinding, you got it. Right? And you have this sense of accomplishment. And I think that a lot of Japanese players, a lot of Korean players, Chinese players, Philippine players, etc., they feel that way. They feel like, wow, I really accomplished something. Look at this, guys. A +5 equipment. I'm so happy. I feel so fulfilling. And perhaps a lot of Western players don't feel that way. They're like, man, I just spent like 30, 40 to 100 hours, and then I realized this +5 equipment maybe doesn't make that much of a difference compared to, say, a +2 equipment. So why would I, dedicate that much time? Another thing is, the Asian cultures tend to be more strict. This is, of course, an assumption. Of course, my point of view, right? If you don't agree, that's okay. I don't need you to agree. I'm making my video, and if you disagree or whatever, put in a comment what you feel. This is how I feel. I visit Asian countries quite a bit, and I realize they're very overcrowded because a lot of people generally tend to congregate and live in big cities. So public transportation is a legitimate thing there. If you live in America, you know that's not a legitimate thing because even in big cities, public transportation isn't all that great. Most of us have to drive or ride a bike or whatever. But in Asian cultures, people spend a lot of their time on public transits. So mobile gaming is easy for them. They just bust out their phone because they have to ride the train, the bus, whatever, for 20, 30 minutes, and then just let it run, auto run something. You know what I'm saying? And when they get home, then they can, kind of just casually play and then go to bed. But the other thing I noticed is that the living quarters in Asian countries tend to be smaller because, again, overpopulation. So there's only so much square footage, so much space you can have in major cities. So people tend to generally stay out a lot later. Especially single people. They stay out, they eat out, they hang out. They tend not to go home until much later because they look at their living quarters as just that, sleeping pretty much. Cleaning up and sleeping and then get ready for work the next day. And many people work long hours. So to them, video game truly is an escapism. And so to them, video game, a lot of it is imitation of real life. They realize they have to work hard to earn a living. And therefore, they have to work hard in their video games. So that sense of accomplishment is in the back of their brain. It's like embedded into their brain. It's embedded into the way they think because it's part of their culture. And I think that's the important thing we need to understand. Like, that is the difference between Western gamers and Asian gamers. Getting back in discussion of should you spend or should you not spend. A lot of Japanese people, a lot of Asian people in general feel like it's warranted for them because to them, they save time. If they spend money, they save time. Time is, in fact, a valuable resource. And if they spend money and it helps them progress in the game, they will do it. Me, I'm old school, right? I like to have physical things in my hand. So for me, I'm still trying to adjust to the idea of spending money on virtual reality things. And now, for my final thoughts. I feel like there shouldn't be a divide between free-to-play players versus pay-to-win players. We're part of one community. Everyone should feel obligated to help each other because we are, after all, part of a team. When we're playing multis, we're part of a team. As a community, we speak to the developers of telling them what we like and what we don't like. And at the end of the day, it is just a game. And it's all about having fun. If you wish to spend money, you're supporting the company, so there's no downside to it. And if you choose not to spend money, just watch those ads. You're still supporting the companies. And the fact that you're playing and being part of the player base and the community, you're also, in a way, supporting the game. Just do what makes you happy at the end of the day. Sounds cliche, but it's true. If time, in fact, is our most valuable resource, then choose to do with your time as you please. And if you choose to play War of the Visions, you know, that's a decision that you're gonna have to make for yourself if you want to open your wallet. But like I said, love yourself, love others, love the community, love the game. That's all the time I have for this video. As always, take care of yourself and all your loved ones. Nash Taters and the Wolfpack out.